I've had a 34-year career in education, all of it in public education until now. I started as a special education teacher in the Worcester Public Schools. I worked there for, I'd say, almost 20 years. And then I transitioned into school administration. I held various positions there, principal, assistant superintendent, and I ended my career in public education as a superintendent for 9 years in the West Boylston Public Schools in Massachusetts. I ran across this ad last September, actually. I read the bullet points that were the work that was included in this job, and I thought, that is exactly the job I would love. And the cherry on the top for me was that it was at Providence College. My daughter is a student here. She's a junior, a bio major, and she fell in love with Providence College on her first visit here and sort of brought the whole family along on the ride. So since then, a few years ago, we've been, big Friar fans, and I couldn't be more excited to be anywhere for work. I'm really drawn to the mission of the college, the idea that this should be a time of formation for students, and I like the emphasis on working towards justice. I think that's a vital mission for public education too, so it's sort of a connecting cord between the work of the college, the work of teacher education, and the work of public education really drew me in. Very strong programs at Providence College, and I work for the School of Professional Studies, and many of the education programs are housed under that school. So since July, I've had a lot of time to spend time with people in those departments and learn about those departments. And I also work with the graduate programs in education. I want to say that across the board, those are strong programs. The one that tugs at my heartstrings and the one that I really love that you have that is unique is the elementary special education program. I graduated from an elementary special education program, so I have a bias. I think that that's probably one of the best beginnings that you can have in education. It brings you into the work in a very solid way. You learn about what good practice looks like for every student, and then you learn to drill down and understand what that means for learners who have different kinds of needs. I'm so happy that we have that program here. When I was a school superintendent, those were the candidates for jobs that I sought the most. I did have the good fortune to hire 2 people from that department who graduated from here to work in our school, and I have to say that was a strong choice, and so I'm really pleased to be part of that work. In terms of general priorities for my work, the thing that's the most on my mind is trying to build a strong or stronger partnership with the Providence Public Schools. We're situated in a neighborhood that I think the students at Providence College could make a big impact on in a positive way within the schools. I've had several meetings with principals from the schools that are right in this neighborhood, and they're very open to more partnership with us, to having more student teachers, to having more field placements in their schools in the coming years. And I want that to sort of be a two-way street. Sometimes we ask, can our students come into your school? I'd like to start asking the other question, which is, could you come to our school and tell us what you need? Talk to us about what's going on. Talk to us about what we should know for our education program to make it the strongest one in the area. With the Providence Public Schools, it's, when you look at some of the data in education, you look at test scores, you look at how schools compare to one another, sometimes there's just a glaring sore thumb that sticks out. And I have to say, some of the schools in the neighborhood around here look like they have some needs. And I want to say those needs demand justice. Children deserve to get a great education. They deserve to have partners in the community that help elevate their education. I feel very committed to that at a high level and at a very nitty-gritty level, like trying to help bring resources into those schools, bring people into those schools that can be a positive presence for students. And every child has the right to come out of school with something that they need to go on to the next level. So I feel like I want to be part of that. I want Providence College to be part of that. I'd like to see that impact happen within this community, and especially, the neighborhood that's within a mile or two of us. As far as the broader challenges, mostly I think it's in what we see as the vision for our programs. Where do we want to make an impact? Where do we want to focus our energies? Who do we want a Providence College graduate from our education programs to be? And do we want to have a focus on urban education? Do we want to have a focus on going into teaching as a way to be part of a solution to community ills and to help with social issues in the community? I do. You know, I always like that, the motto that a lot of people go into teaching because they want to change the world. And I think that there's a lot of students who have that in their spirit, who really, that's why they're drawn to education, because they want to make a difference in the world. I think we have to be very intentional about shaping experiences for them that allow them an entree into that.